Hi Aries, this is your July 2025 soul story. If you have a sun, rising or moon in the sign, it's your reading. Thank you so much for joining me on the channel. Appreciate you. We're opening up for you this month with the energy of the star, and you know it's an emotional month ahead, and the fact that you have this healing current that is so supportive in helping you to just process, come to terms with things. You know, in fourth house energy during Cancer season, there may be a lot of grief actually that is coming up, that's washing over you, washing through you, and running alongside you like a river. You know, in the desire to sort of return to your roots and, you know, perhaps be reminiscing and a little bit nostalgic about, you know, what has brought you to this point. There's also this bright light, this inner compass that's calling you forward and showing you the way. And I think if you felt a little bit lost, then it's going to be a really powerful indicator of just how much is shifting in your world. And you know, the need for you to approach things in a new way is also coming through powerfully. Now, there's going to be times where we don't know if we're coming or going in July. You know, we do have 4 planets retrograde, but we've also then got Uranus shifting into 0 degrees of Gemini, and you know that leap forward in lightning speed, you know, against a backdrop of slowing down and introspective energy, with the emotion of Cancer season, you know, can feel like quite a lot. So you got to be extra kind and give yourself some compassion in terms of where you find yourself this month. It's definitely going to be a time to be working on patience and frustration, you know, if that's showing up, because there's a sort of leveled energy that, you know, we're going to be able to tap into, but you know, we may sort of go down fighting a little bit in order to find it. So you've got the energy of the Fool coming through. So as you feel like there is some new light on the horizon, perhaps some hope in a situation that you felt was maybe not looking so wonderful, all of a sudden it gives you the power, the motivation, the desire to want to be bold, to take a risk, to actually use this energy and direct it in a way that's going to enable you to shift and change circumstances around you. I think you are seeking some sort of a sign. You're looking for some support, and I think that you are going to get that in the month of July. Now, Neptune goes retrograde on the 4th, and you know, there's a lot of nostalgia, there's a lot of memories, and perhaps you've been thinking about times before when you've made these big bold steps. You know, maybe they've worked out and maybe they didn't, and so there's a lot of sort of energy and emotion that's attached to that. But you know, this is a time where in the stillness, if you allow yourself to access it, that's when you're going to discover the clarity and really the freedom. Yeah, the freedom of the Fool is about a deep connectedness to everything, but without any dependency on it. You know, you've got to be you, and in a way we've got to let everybody else work through and work out what it is that they have going on at this moment in time. So I think you become very focused on your individual path in July, and I think that's going to serve you in the right ways. Now on the 7th we see Uranus stepping into Gemini for the next 6 years. It'll dip back into Taurus November 8th through April 26th. But here, you know, this very disruptive, slightly unpredictable energy could bring in some shocking realizations, but there's such originality, creativity, and, you know, if you allow that rebellious part of you, you know, that is set on having like a soul revolutionary experience, then you know this is going to feel like a lightning in a bottle moment where, you know, something is realized and understood. Now you've got 3 incredibly powerful majors coming in to open up your month of July, and actually really beautiful energies. The Alchemist is helping you to maintain focus whilst around you may be in this sort of state of disarray and chaos. Sometimes in the flux energy, it's where opportunities present themselves, and it's very Uranus and Gemini is that Alchemist. So we know something is going to be illuminated for you, and it's like you take action, but the action is you know, backed up by an idea or an opportunity or something that you know has merit. You know it can work. You know that this is where you're supposed to be or what you're supposed to be doing, okay? So there's a very strong spiritual intervention, if you like, happening early on in the month of July. Now, it may happen a bit unpredictably, and maybe somewhat disruptive for you, but if you can sort of find a flow with it, then I think that there's something incredibly expansive about what's about to land for you in this first part of the month. Now, we then build towards our full moon in Capricorn on the 10th, right? And, you know, we look at the sort of mountain that we need to scale, and there's something that's very leveling and grounding about that experience. You've got your Queen of Staffs here. I think that there's a protective energy that surfaces very strongly around that time. And so who or what is it that you need to ensure is looked after, taken care of? There's a culmination that's arriving that began at the beginning of the year. And I think there's something that, you know, stirs your soul in a way when I'm looking at that Queen of Wands, but it's you and your natural environment. You're working with that fire. It's what you do best, and you feel motivated, but you feel very passionate about something, and there's a protectiveness that I sense coming through in relation to that. So protection of your work, of yourself, of people that you care about, of the earth, like, you know, whatever it is, you feel moved by it, and there's a connectedness that's also showing up here, you know, that it may be impacting or influencing community in some way, shape or form. I think that you also have a lot to say around that full moon, and it's important that you don't like hold back, but that you're also aware of how you are emotionally responding. We are going to be in the shadow energy of retrograde with Mercury, right? It comes in on the 17th, but you know, you'll be feeling that shadow through the first part of July. And so I need you to speak up and be open and direct, but at the same time it feels like people maybe misunderstand, or you know, the way it lands is not necessarily how you expected. Again, it sort of comes back to this, you know, be connected but not dependent on what they are going to take from what it is that you have to say, you know, and you might need to work on that a little bit around that energy of the full moon, because it seems to me that you know, it can affect you far more sensitively, or you know, with a trigger than we would like it to, you know, because it really isn't within your control on how anyone else is going to see this. What I can say to you is that whatever you are advocating or pushing for or trying to position in and around that time of the month, people will get it. They'll come back around. It might just be a little bit of a slower realization or awareness that happens. Okay, so you just need to stay with the plan and sort of use that stamina that Capricorn will afford you at that full moon. The goals that you have, the things that you're trying to seek, you know, this is a time to put something powerfully in place for yourself. Remember, fourth house wants the strong foundations, and it may be that you're shifting or looking at where you live, where you work, you know, the people that you're spending time with, and you know that something is ready for a much bigger shake-up, you know, and that is likely to happen in this next, you know, big chapter in your life as Uranus changes the conversation. And you know, the way that information and how we communicate, you know, becomes so transformative. You've got the Three of Cups coming in here, and you know, it's important in this month of July, Aries, that you give a little time and space to be able to do the things or to spend time with the people that are actually going to like rebalance, you know, because I think there can be a seriousness or perhaps an emotional overwhelm that takes up a lot of energy. And so the injection of lightness here I really love, actually, and it just feels that, you know, almost at a moment just going, I just need to let this be, or I need to park this, there's no more I can do right now, I just need to go and, you know, just kind of let my hair down a little bit, or spend some time with people that can distract my energy enough that is going to really enable me actually to come back into myself a little bit. So don't say no. Keep some time and space if there are invitations or offers or people that want to step in and be around you, especially mid-month. Saturn is going to go retrograde in your sign from the 12th, and so we know we're going to be sort of pouring back over a lot, right? And perhaps things will come back to light about, what should have been done a bit differently, or maybe that you would have approached in another way, given hindsight. This is your chance actually to kind of allow for some reform and to kind of learn the lesson, but in a way that's sort of chosen. It's almost like, right, now I've got the time to come back to this, and maybe there are some changes that I really want to make in regards to this. And I think that, as a transit, it can actually be quite beneficial for you. What we do know to be true, though, is that the frustration levels that can rise, with the planetary retrogrades, and particularly with Saturn in your sign, can be quite high. So you're going to have to, again, just hold some space and know that there's a divine time and patience and a specific order to how things need to flow into your world at the moment. And it may not be the order that you would have elected for, but nonetheless it's going to be the one that is doing right by your higher self. And the more that you can find peace in that, and let it go, shake it off, whatever it is that you need to do, and just land where you are, like be deeply present where you are. That is going to serve you in immeasurable ways, not just like in July, but actually over the next few months with Saturn back spinning. There could be some delays that show up, particularly from the 12th through the end of the month. And again, trying to find a sense of humour in things isn't always easy, but I think trying not to take things too seriously when in the big picture, they're stuff that can get resolved. Like, just keep perspective is what I want to say in regards to that, right? But as we come into Leo season, into 5th house, we've got the Page of Coins here. Something's coming into bloom, something you've been working on, tending to, investing in, and it really starts to reveal its value to you. It really starts to show you, actually, this is what I was able to, to become. Like, this is what I can do for you. This is, how much will come from this, and that feels quite exciting. I think you get a renewed motivation, passion and interest, and whatever it is, right, it has definitely asked a lot of you. You've felt at times like probably you wanted to give up, to walk away, to break up, to really make that affirmative choice, but something kept you hanging in there, something kept you holding on. And now, as we move into Leo season, particularly as we approach that new moon in the sign on the 24th, you're going to feel really satisfied actually at how you're starting to see that this is giving back, right? That's the thing. It's kind of coming in a place where it's starting to give back. You're going to want to like work with that energy, and really, when energy is sort of charged up and it's showing movement and it's asking for your attention, make sure that you dedicate some time to it, because it's about then making it the best it can be in that moment. And this is really serving you. Like, I really want you to kind of understand what this is in and around that time of the month and make sure that, your plans are bright and bold, and that you're taking risks and you're working with the energy and you're really alchemizing things. You're working on your limiting beliefs, because it's almost like when something starts to go right, let's not sabotage it, because this holds great promise and possibility for you, I'm telling you. And it's about also the thing that makes you happy, because 5th house, remember, it's coming back to our relationship to pleasure, to desire. It's got a really creative edge to it. It connects into our inner child, the things that really just bring us that sort of boundless joy. So there's something here, right? And no matter how intense life may be in other areas, there's a little shining light that if we can kind of sit with that and we can let more and more in, then this is going to go somewhere and take you on such a beautiful journey actually, right? You've got to nourish and water the roots this month, okay? And you also have to master where your energy is going in the month of July. That's going to be the most important thing. you know, working on the patience and the frustration levels, knowing that sometimes we have to inner parent ourselves in all situations. There's something unpredictable and maybe even a little bit shocking that feels like it's underway. And you know, it may not come fully to light in July, but the rumblings of it, you can feel it, you know, you have a sensation of it. But in the meantime, you have to keep just focusing on the things that matter, what's important, you know, and what is being asked of you, spiritually speaking, right? Don't settle and don't go back. You know, this is a month where you have to believe in yourself right now, and you have to be aware that any fear or anxiety or trepidation, you know, is wholly natural, and we can't really bypass it. We have to move through it. But look, your three powerful majors, the Star, the Fool, the Magician, like, this is your spiritual intervention saying we are getting you to where you are meant to be, but you have to trust in us. If you're new to the channel, the last three cards we're going to look at the extended reading, Aries. You can find the link in the comment section below. I hope that you'll join me. We'll also look at a personal and a relationship card for you. Talk for another 25 minutes or so. I'm just going to clarify the direction of this reading and see where we'll take that. 7 of Cups, High Priestess. I love the High Priestess for you. 5 of Swords. We've got the World. Please check out romywiser.com. Oh, there's another Queen of Wands. Beautiful. And Ace of Swords. Yes. You're going to find ways to work with me if you'd like a personal reading. You're going to find all my signature products, my deck, my book, my journal, all my meditations, my reports. Everything is over there, including the new venture that I am embarking upon. So please go find out all of the details and come on the journey with me, which is super exciting. Chariot, Wheel of Fortune. You have some epic majors showing up for you this month. You know, it just feels like a whole new game, whole new chapter. All the cards are detailed below, Aries. Let's have a look at Life Soul Vision Oracle. So this is my deck. How are we adding to this? Energy conversations. We've got the sun charged in light. We have the full moon. We have the gathering. You got all the luminaries this month, huh? The sun, the moon, the stars. The gathering, eclipse revelations, and solar plexus energy. Stand in your light. There's a need to be bold, to be confident. You know, Leo season can really support you in that, in terms of the choices and decisions that you're making, the beliefs that you're challenging. Right, we're going to look at another oracle for Aries for July. Consciousness, self-awareness, personal realizations, prejudice. Okay, let's leave that there. We'll explore it in the extended. Thank you for being here. Have a beautiful month ahead. Take care of yourself. I'm going to see you next time.